Just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Juarez in the U.S.-Mexico border, El Paso, Texas, and Sun Bowl Stadium is home to the UTEP Miners and today's backdrop for their Conference USA opener against Louisiana Tech. Andy Morgan alongside the former UCLA Bruin Ed Stansberry. Paige Wood will be joining us momentarily. And Ed, you have two teams right now really headed in opposite directions. Louisiana Tech, they have taken care of business to start the season. Their only loss coming to LSU. They're 3-1 to start the year. Meanwhile, UTEP's 1-3 coming off a really disappointing loss to Louisiana Monroe.
Andy, head coach Scotty Walden and the UTEP Miners are still trying to find their rhythm. They have playmakers across the board, but it really starts with the former five-star quarterback Malachi Nelson. If he protects the football and keeps his fast tempo offense on schedule, UTEP has a shot to bounce back here at home.
Malachi Nelson currently ranking second in Conference USA, already over 1,000 yards passing on the season. Meanwhile, La Tech is in their fourth year under Sonny Cumbie, and the Bulldogs, they went back to a bowl game last season, and they're already halfway to 6 wins this season, Ed.
Andy, Louisiana Tech is rolling right now. The Bulldogs have built their identity on physical, hard-nosed defense, and when that unit sets the table, quarterback Blake Baker is there to cash in. He's 6'5", 220 pounds. He gives his team confidence. He can throw it, he can run it, and that balance put Louisiana Tech in the Conference USA title conversation.
And the Bulldogs have been absolutely excellent on the defensive side of the ball as well. Should be a battle of strength versus strength on that side of the ball. And for more on the matchup, let's send it down to Paige Wood.
In the Sun Bowl Stadium, where the Miners are looking to bounce back. There's a lot of excitement around this UTEP offense. Quarterback Malachi Nelson coming in after throwing 404 yards, the first Miner to do that in over 15 years. He's been able to connect with young receivers like Wandame Davis Jr., who was named Conference USA Freshman of the Week. But it won't be easy against this Louisiana Tech defense, as they are leading the nation with 3 defensive touchdowns, and they're among the best in college football in forcing turnovers. Can UTEP build that consistency and avoid mistakes against a dangerous Bulldog defense? Andy?
Paige, thank you very much. That's right, the Bulldogs, they've recorded at least 1 interception in all 4 games this season. The defense is going to take a little breather here to start this football game, as UTEP will receive the opening kickoff. And let's play some football. We are underway here at the Sun Bowl, as that ball will go out through the back of the end zone. Do have a breeze going in that direction, so from south to north. Steady breeze to the backs of the north end zone here, as UTEP will start out on offense. They are led by Malachi Nelson. And Ed, this offense looked completely different last week. Malachi Nelson going down in that first half, and Shea Smith came into the football game. It was Malachi Nelson returning that really got UTEP sparked in the second half on the way to that comeback.
Yeah, and the message Scotty Walden gave us this week is Malachi Nelson needs to stay poised navigating this offense in tonight's ball game.
That is Kenny Odom in motion, returning to the lineup for the Miners, as Nelson was going to check it down to Hassan Wilson. Wilson, some physical play there. Only is going to gain a couple. Give him 3 on the play. It'll set up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that's a great job by Malachi. Seeing the coverage downfield, seeing his receivers, nobody open, coming down, hitting his check down for his running back.
I mentioned Kenny Odom back in the lineup for the Miners. He missed last week with an injury, so certainly some much needed help on the offensive side of the football for the Miners, as this is Odom, but he is stopped in his tracks, nowhere to go. And a good looking play there from the secondary of the Bulldogs.
We talked about the physicality of this Bulldog defense, a little quick lightning screen, and those defenders are in on the play.
Jamal Shelby Jr. making a good play on the football. 3rd down, Nelson has the completion to Odom. Odom, we'll see, he was close to that first down. I think he's gonna have enough yardage to give him the first down. And the Miners will move the change there on a 3rd down conversion. That's what you got to have, Ed.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny Odom didn't play last week. He's a much needed, one of his Malachi Nelson's favorite targets. Look at him to have a lot of receptions tonight.
1st and 10 here. Miners got 2 backs in the backfield. That is Odom motioning right to left. Nelson back to pass. Nobody open. Going to tuck it. Now flush to his right, still looking downfield, and is just going to scoot out of bounds. give him 2 on the play. Nobody open there.
Yeah, and don't forget, Malachi Nelson, he is a pure passer, but he has the athletic ability to use his legs, buy himself time, and get the small gain that he did there on that play.
Sets up now a 2nd and 7. Wilson is the up back. The give goes to Wilson. Wilson's got a seam, and it closes up quickly. Give him 2 on the play, and it'll be another 3rd down. This one 3rd and 5 for the Miners.
Keep an eye on number 10, Colby Fields in the middle of the field. Conference USA preseason player of the year. This guy is sideline to sideline.
Miners go empty here in the backfield. Davis to the bottom of your screen. Odom make that Willis to the top of the screen for the Miners, and now Wilson will shift into the backfield.
Take a look at this coverage by the Bulldogs. Scotty Walden calls it a jungle 3-high defense. They want to take away that deep attack.
That's Wilson on the carry, and he's got enough for a Miner first down. Give him 6 on the play.
And speaking of that 3-high defense, one of the vulnerabilities, only 3 up front, very easy to run here for the Miners.
Miners go play action, pressure on Nelson, and Nelson's just going to get rid of it. The Bulldogs bring in the blitz there, and it worked out to perfection on a 1st and 10 for the Miners, brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, that's big number 90, Jaden Madkins, 6'2", 275 pounds. Houston Texans getting into that backfield.
Have our official explaining to us that Nelson was outside of the tackle box, so no intentional grounding on the play. Now 2nd and 10 for the Miners. So the Miners do get back Kenny Odom at receiver, but they are out Judah and Zenwa, their top tight end. He is a scratch for today's game, so the Miners a little thick tight end. Nelson across the middle and too tall, looking there for Jalen Brown, and now you got a late flag. Penalty marker is down. Miners sideline likes the call, and then you got the opposite sideline, which is actually closest to where the play happened. Not happy about the late flag there.
Yeah, that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on tonight. The Bulldogs, the most penalized team in Conference USA.
Let's see what the call is.
Offside, defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, 2nd down.
Really interesting at where the flag came in, because the flag, it looked like, came in from the back judge,
right,
which made you think that there's some sort of, whether it be defensive holding or pass interference. Instead, it's an offsides call, interestingly enough, but nonetheless, it's 5 yards for the Miners, and they'll do 2nd down all over again. This time 2nd and 5. 2 receivers to both sides. Wilson, the up back. Nelson, quick hitter, and nobody home. Can't tell if he was looking to get it to Tate or Davis on the play, but receivers weren't in the right spot, or Nelson throwing it to the wrong spot. Either way, it's 3rd down.
Yeah, a little miscommunication. Malachi was ready to get rid of that ball right now, and Trayvon Tate still in his route with his eyes not back at the quarterback.
See what the Miners decide here on 3rd and 5. Last time they had a 3rd and 5, they ran it with Wilson, and he picked up 6 for the first down, and you're right in that kind of territory for 4-down territory. They do run it with Wilson. Wilson's got some open field and just tripped up. Otherwise, he would have gone for 6, but a big pickup on the game for Wilson, and it's enough for a Miner first down and then some.
This is an incredible job by the Miner offensive line, opening that hole. Hassan Wilson has that explosive speed to get up the field.
And there is Nelson calling his own number and give him 5 on the play. Be 2nd down. You had Jake Utley on that previous play, the right tackle. Man, he was 7-8 yards down the field, getting to that 2nd level on the block for the Miners. Nelson in the pocket, looking, scanning, gonna dump it off here to his tight end, and not much there. Maybe 1 on the play, as the completion there goes to John Schutz. So another 3rd down here for the Miners, this time 3rd and 3 as they line up, empty backfield. Nelson, That ball is tipped up in the air, and it's going to be intercepted by the Bulldogs. Miners elect to throw for it on 3rd and 3. It's deflected up into the air and intercepted by Sifa Leota. And it's a turnover for the Bulldogs early on the opening possession of the Miners.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Malachi. Great job by this Bulldog defense getting his hand up. The linebacker Sifa Leota there to make the interception. Again, Paige talked about it, this Bulldog defense leading the conference in takeaways this season.
Leota, I think, is the only one who knew that ball was deflected up in the air and came away with the easy interception, as now you got the Bulldogs on the other end here. And that was Blake Baker, who was hit right as he threw it. It is an incomplete pass, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Blake Baker, the starting quarterback of this Bulldogs football team. Of course, to begin the season, it was Trey Kukuk, who we will see in maybe certain packages, certain formations, and situational football. As here you got Baker. Baker sets up the screen, and the Miners sniffed it out. Gain of just a couple on the play, and it'll be 3rd down. Micah Davey in on the stop for the Miners as that completion went to Jalen Mickens.
Fast, fearless, and physical is what this Miner defense wants to play. That's a great job reading screen and swarming to the football.
3rd and 8 for Baker and the Bulldog offense on their opening possession, trying to capitalize on an early turnover gifted by their defense. And across the middle, UTEP nearly with an interception there, as that was Xavier Smith unable to corral it. And now it'll be 4th down, and looks like the offensive unit is staying on the field for the Bulldogs here.
Yeah, it was, as we see that replay, no receiver around.
Oh, you got the penalty marker down. Didn't even see that. That's going to be pass interference. And an automatic 1st down for this Bulldog offense. That's why they stayed on the field. Since that route happened inside the 15-yard marker, it is a spot foul here. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs into UTEP territory at their 47.
Huge break for the Bulldogs. Blake Baker looking to find his rhythm here early in this first drive.
And this time he's going to keep it, and this is what he does. Big physical runner is Blake Baker, and give him 6 on that 1st down.
I really like this play call by Blake Baker. He can pass it, he can run it, but sometimes, Andy, you know, going out into the game, you want to get that first hit to feel like you're in the game. Blake Baker getting positive yards on that run.
2nd and a short 5 here. Play action for Baker. Baker now rolling to his right, looking down the field, and instead will be chased out of bounds. And the Bulldogs will have another 3rd down.
That was great pursuit by UTEP's linebacker, Jaden Wilson, number 10, not letting Baker get outside and break containment.
The UTEP defense leads Conference USA. They actually ranked 9th in all of college football in holding their opponents on 3rd down. This one 3rd and 5. That is Omiri Wiggins in the backfield. Now looking like almost was going to line up under center. He'll go to Baker's right. Miners bring pressure. Baker looking, throwing, got the completion, and it's going to be enough for a 1st down. Completion there going to Marquise Singleton Jr. And that is exactly what you needed on a play that the Miners elect to bring pressure.
Yeah, it's just a quick little hitch route there inside the hash. Great job, Blake Baker, finding him quick. This is a ball control team, Andy. They want to run first, slow the tempo down, and move the chains.
What's interesting is we haven't seen a single carry from Wiggins. They're going to miscommunication there from Baker and his intended target. He was looking there for Gandy. It's going to be 2nd down. We haven't seen a single carry from Wiggins or Tevenen. Each of those guys with 30-plus carries on the season coming into this one. It's been a heavy dose of Blake Baker on this opening drive for the Bulldogs. Got some finger pointing now on the offense and defensive lines of both La Tech and UTEP. No whistle, no call. Play clock is at 10. Play action. Baker. Quick throw. And you got quite the collision there on the sideline. Forward progress is going to be short of the first down.
Take a look at this catch, Andy. Diedrich Latulis going up to get the ball. Foot lands in bounds. That is a big-time play by the receiver.
Forward progress was good enough for a first down. Looked like they had marked him short. Now the Miners showing blitz. We'll see how the Bulldogs here combat it. Wiggins, play action. Now Baker flush to his right, gonna tuck it and run, and he's got some room. Will run out of bounds inside the Miner 20-yard line, and just like that, the Bulldogs are in the red zone.
Love to see the big frame of Blake Baker. Again, 6'5", 220 with wheels, a physical quarterback. And he'll gash you with his arm.
Still have not seen a carry by a Bulldog running back. Let's see if it comes here. Nope. Pressure. Baker going across the middle, looking, and going to get a flag there. Gandy was looking around, wanting the football, didn't get it. Miners are saying the ball was tipped. Officials will get together here and talk about this one. If that ball wasn't tipped, it was certainly holding or pass interference of some sort.
Pass interference. Defense,
and there's
number
the call.
4. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Once again, that will be a spot foul.
It's a great job of the defensive front by the Miners getting pressure into Baker's face.
Neil Campbell was called for the penalty, just didn't get his head around. Back was faced towards the quarterback. The grab, the hold, pass interference. Now the Bulldogs have first and goal from their Miner 5-yard line. Baker this time will give it to Wiggins. Wiggins his first carry, and he doesn't go anywhere. A whole host of Miners in on that stop.
Omari Wiggins coming off his career best last week, 120 yards, 121 yards rushing. Just an inside zone play. UTEP does a great job coming off of the edge. Nothing doing for the Bulldogs on that run.
It was Justin Content who did a really good job coming off of his corner spot, really setting the edge, and was the first Miner to get there, and he had help from his buddies. Second and goal from the 5. Play action. Baker looking, got a wide open man in the end zone, and that is a La Tech touchdown. As the touchdown there from Blake Baker, and he had Marquise Singleton Jr. all alone in the back of the end zone for a 5-yard touchdown. And you can hear a pin drop at Sun Bowl Stadium. Got an injured Miner who will come off the field here, but how about the start for the Bulldogs? Exactly how they would have scripted it. They get their 5th straight game with an interception. They get the early turnover off of the throw from Malachi Nelson, a tip ball, and then their offense goes the other way. 10 plays at 60 yards. Took 4.5 minutes off the clock, and it leads to a Blake Baker touchdown to Marquise Singleton Jr. Extra point is up, and it is good. And the Bulldogs are out to a 7-0 lead. Miners offense coming back out when we return. Bulldogs early out to a 7-0 lead. Quite the statement here from the Bulldogs. They get the early turnover, and they get 6 on the other side of it. And Ed, a communication breakdown there from the defense as nobody was on Singleton in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, this is a great job by Blake Baker, using his eyes, scanning the field, finding Singleton wide open by himself, absolutely blown coverage by the Miner defense, and the Bulldogs capitalize.
Blake Baker on that opening drive, 4 of 6, 22 yards and a touchdown. Also carried it 3 times for 13 yards. And Singleton, 2 receptions on that drive, including the 5-yard touchdown that puts the Bulldogs out in front in the first quarter, as once again that kick will go out of the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Miners will have it from their own 25-yard line. And certainly unfortunate for Malachi Nelson last time out, had the ball tipped up in the air, but hey, that is how this La Tech defense operates. They create chaos in the backfield. They're very, very active, and certainly one of the best in the country when it comes to turning their opponents over.
Yeah, this defense has more takeaways, interceptions, and sacks than they did this time a year ago. Watch for that Bulldog to continue to create chaos, Andy.
When we were talking to head coach Sonny Cumbie earlier in the week, he said at some point this isn't going to be something that happens every week, turning our opponents over at the rate that we are, but certainly no signs of slowing down, at least here tonight at Sun Bowl Stadium in the first quarter, able to get that opening takeaway. That was a first down carry from Hassan Wilson. Wasn't able to pick up much. Gain of 2 on the play. 2nd and 8 here from the Miners. Nelson, quick hitter, and that is quite the shot there, is unable to haul that pass in. As that was Amari Butler who came flying in and dislodged the football.
This is how you set the tone early in a football game, knocking the ball loose.
That was Josh Schutz, who was the intended receiver, turned around, and man, he had Butler in his grill. Schutz was slow to come off, listed as a wide receiver on this depth chart, but playing that tight end position this week. Again, you have a lot of injuries at that position for the Miners, including Judah Nzinwa, who's the regular starter. He is out this game. 3rd and 8 for the Miners. Nelson is wide of his intended target, was looking on the play for Jalen Brown, and it's a 3 and out. And certainly if you're the Miners coming off the turnover and then the opening possession touchdown, not how you wanted to come back out on offense.
Louisiana Tech fans know defensive coordinator Luke Olson, and he's just been tremendous so far in this game, calling the defenses.
Punt is away. Latulis is back to receive it, pinned in his corner, makes one man miss, and he's got some room. There is a penalty marker down. We'll check the marker. Miners are saying they have the football. They do not. Let's check the penalty marker, though. Where that flag came out, it was on the sideline. And I think you're going to get a call here on the wingman, as the Miners were trying to cover that kick. And had a player really pushed out of bounds. Now you're going to get a holding.
Number 17. The penalty is a 10-yard penalty and a first down. Timeout.
So a holding call there against La Tech. And we are going to step aside. 5:24 left in the opening quarter. The Bulldogs lead the Miners 7-0. Welcome back to Sun Bowl Stadium. Andy Morgan alongside Ed Stansberry. Paige Wood is on the sidelines for us on a gorgeous night here in El Paso, Texas. A little bit of a breeze going south to north in the direction in which La Tech had it to open this ball game. They opened the ball game with a 60-yard touchdown drive their last time out. This is their second possession. And how about that? Nowhere to go. Blake Baker trying to set up the screen pass and just had nowhere to go with it, as Cole Gustafson was gifted a TFL there.
Yeah, that's a great job by Gustafson, reading the bubble screen, getting into the backfield, disrupting that play. Excellent job by that defensive front, causing havoc here for Blake Baker.
Looked like Baker was trying to swing it out, trying to get the screen set up, and it just wasn't there. This time, they'll give it to the up back. That was Clay Tevenen in his first carry of the game. It goes for 6 yards, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 9 for the Bulldogs.
Tevenen showing his quickness and explosive speed, putting his foot in the ground, getting north and south on that last run.
3 receivers to the short side of the field here for the Bulldogs on a 3rd and 9. Tevenen remains in the game at running back. Baker has the snap, play action. Here comes the Miners on the blitz. Baker getting rid of it, and a good job there by Xavier Smith to dislodge the football, looking for David Piero, and unable to come up with it as Xavier Smith was there.
Yeah, this is a great job by Xavier Smith, reading the eyes of Blake Baker. Baker trying to buy himself some time, and excellent job making a play on the football, breaking that pass up.
Smith did a great job there. Got there right as the football arrived and read it perfectly. Really good job by Baker too, stepping up in the pocket and able to at least try to make that play. As the kick is away, this is going to go to Willis. Willis fields it inside the 30, makes one man miss, breaks another tackle, has got some room, and is going to get across the 40-yard line, and the Miners will have good field position for their 3rd possession of this football game. We are under 4 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Miners coming back out on offense, trailing 7-0. Looking shot there, as it is a great night for football. 72 degrees. As I mentioned, a little bit of a breeze, but actually is quite pleasant at this point. Don't anticipate it to make too much of a difference in the kicking game, although you never know here in the desert Southwest during monsoon season. Hopefully I didn't just jinx that. 1st and 10 here for the Miners. They got good field position to start with it here as that ball is tipped, deflected in the air. Is actually going to be, is it caught by Tate? No. Falls to the ground, incomplete, but a dangerous look there. Was trying to get it to Willis, and that ball went straight up into the air, much like Nelson's first interception of the game.
Yeah, quick lightning screen. That was a long throw for Malachi. A little off target, deflected, avoiding another costly interception there.
So 2nd and 10 here. Nelson, this time he does get it to Willis. Willis makes that Tate. Gets a short pickup of 2, and it's another 3rd and long for the Miners. Really behind the chains to start this football game here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, Scotty Walden trying to get his guys in space to get any kind of advantage against this Bulldog defense.
Wilson lines up about as far to the near sideline as you can here. Nelson has the snap, looking across the middle, got his man, going to be well short of the 1st down. That was Tate on the reception, and a good looking tackle there by Makai Mason.
Yeah, this Bulldog linebacking core, one of the best linebacking cores in Conference USA.
Miners are going to go for it here on 4th down on their side of the 50. We'll call it 4th and 4. You have Davis, Odom, Tate, and Willis at receiver for the Miners. That is Odom shifting right to left. Wilson is the up back. 1 on the play clock. They get it off. Nelson across the middle, and a good looking play there. Coming up and making the play was Jakari Foster, who got there right in the nick of time as Tate was unable to hold on to it.
This is an incredible physical play by Jakari Foster, jumping that route, getting a break on the ball. That's his 2nd pass breakup on the season. Excellent execution by Louisiana Tech.
The Bulldogs bringing pressure there, and Foster was all over it on the other end on the back end of that defensive call there for the Bulldogs, who will take over on downs in UTEP territory. Baker calls his own number, breaks one tackle, and drags a couple of Miners forward for a pickup of 4 on the play. Bulldogs quickly to the line of scrimmage here on a 2nd and 5. Completion there. Good open field tackle there from the Miners. And it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, it's been a heavy dose of Blake Baker running the ball. They're getting a quick screen out to Diedrich Latulis. Looking to get some more points on the board for this Bulldog offense. Really like what I've seen so far from Blake Baker and using his legs.
Justin Content had the good open field tackle there for the Miners. It sets up now a 3rd and 3. Wiggins is the up back. Motion man is Gandy. Baker has it. Miners rush 4 across the middle. The completion going there, and then some. A big pick up there from the Bulldogs. That was Marlon Jackson coming across the middle. Only needed 3. The short completion there ends up going for 26 on the catch and run from Jackson.
Yeah, it's just a simple drag route across the field. Baker sees Jackson, dumps it off, and it's the yards after catch that gets the ball all the way into the red zone.
Just like that, Bulldog offense is in business. Give this time goes to Wiggins. He bounces it outside, has the corner inside the 10, down to the 5. Close to a 1st down marker. We'll see if they give it to him and it'll be 1st and goal, or if it's not, it'll be 2nd and goal, or 2nd and 1. They are going to be just short of the 1st down marker. So almost a free play here for the Bulldog offense at 2nd and 1 inside, or right at the 5-yard line, I should say.
Yeah, and that was a great job by Wiggins, using his speed to get to the boundary, setting up this 2nd down play.
3 receivers, top of your screen. Miners bring pressure. Baker calls his own number, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go on that play.
And that was a host of Miner defenders in on that. We talked about this defensive front. Isiani, Coker, Johnson, and Hall. Great stop there by the Miner defense.
And that is how this opening quarter at Sun Bowl Stadium will end, with the Bulldogs threatening inside the 10-yard line and leading the Miners 7-0. A solid opening quarter for the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, who will open the 2nd quarter with a chance to really do some damage here, up 7-0. They're 2 for 3 on 3rd down so far this game. They have a 3rd and 2 from the Miners 6-yard line. Here we go, Blake Baker. Miners bring pressure, going up top in the end zone, and is that an interception? It is! Yeah! The Miners come away with the interception. Textbook coverage, and just like that, the Miners gonna come away with the football. Justin Content with the takeaway. How about the coverage here, Ed, on the back shoulder throw? Is actually seemed like a good throw, just a heck of a play on the football from Content.
Yeah, that's textbook cornerback coverage there in the end zone. You said it, Andy, fade route to the back corner. Content had a tremendous job staying inside. As we take a look at the replay, getting his hands and eyes around, tipping the ball up, wow, and making the interception. That is a big time play by Justin Content.
Now that I'm seeing the replay, intended for Eli Finley. When you got Finley out there who's 6'6", if you're Blake Baker, maybe like to put that ball a little bit further up top. As Shea Smith into the football game at quarterback for the Miners calls his own number. Nelson also lined up at receiver on that play. It's a pickup of 2.
Yeah, Shea Smith, the redshirt freshman out of El Paso, Texas. We've seen him sprinkled in different series throughout this Miner season.
Interestingly enough, and now he's back in the shotgun with Malachi Nelson lined up at receiver. Smith will once again call his number. This time he's got some running room. Give them 5 on the play. It'll be 3rd and manageable here for the Miners at 3rd and 4.
We've talked to Scotty Walden about the use of Shea Smith, and going into each game week, there did be different packages for Shea. Scotty Walden has complete confidence in his ability, can throw and run the ball.
You know, also just given that look for something that, whether or not we see that this game or down the line for the Miners, you always like to put something like that out on film, just to get the other side thinking a little bit. Miners thinking here on a 3rd and 4, gotta have it. The give goes to Wilson. Wilson's got nowhere to go. There's 4 or 5 Bulldog defenders in on that tackle, and it's gonna bring up 4th down. And the Miners have to punt it away.
Yeah, that defensive front, Ogans, Nason, and Madkins, these guys, nothing doing there for that Miner offense. They were a complete wall, forcing the punt.
Noah Botsford will punt it away for UTEP. Diedrich Latulis back deep to receive it, and there come the Bulldogs. Nearly blocked it. Latulis calls for the fair catch, although it didn't have anyone near him for 10 yards. Nonetheless, fair catch is called right at the 30-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs will have it, leading 7-0. 13:02 to play in the second quarter. La Tech up 7-0. Get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. And at this Bulldog defense, they have been as good as advertised in the first 17 minutes of this football game.
Yeah, they have been playing sideline to sideline, physical, setting the tone early in this ball game. As good as advertised, Andy.
Baker has the snap. The give goes to Tevenin, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage by Micah Davey, who has just been a monster, a tackle monster for the Miners. 39 total tackles coming into this game. That's leading Conference USA and has really done it his whole career.
Yeah, Scotty Walden says he is the anchor of this defense, the quarterback of this defense. Smart, physical, and just a tough player there for the defense.
And there, that's nearly intercepted. Baker going play action there and held it maybe just a little bit too long on the play fake to Tevenin. And then once he pulled it, that ball deflected right up into the air and nearly intercepted.
That's a great job by Solo Barnes getting his hands up. We've seen a lot of deflected balls on both sides for both these teams. Great job by Solo Barnes making a play, getting his hand up.
So now 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs. Tevenin in motion, set up the screen to Gandy. Gandy wiggling his way and zigging and zagging and unable to come away with enough yardage for a first down. Does get 5 yards on the play with his fancy footwork, but had a long ways to go on that, and Bulldogs just trying to give some extra room here for a punt.
Yeah, Bobby Daly, defensive coordinator for the Miners, happy with that series. That orange swarm defense was swarming, Andy.
This will be John Hoyt chance to punt it away for the Bulldogs. This is Willis, who will let it land at the 23-yard line. That's going to roll all the way down to the 12, down by Jackson, and that's where the Miner offense will have the football. So if you're UTEP's offense, got to come away with something. A 53-yard punt there. Got a lot of field to work with, but just really haven't been able to get going anything on offense.
Really difficult with that 3-high safety look to take any shots downfield. Coming into this game, the Miners are averaging over 455 yards of offense. Let's see if they can put it together on this drive.
And it shuts the motion man. Give goes to Wilson. Wilson met right at the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go.
Tempo kind of slowed down here for the Miners.
It's actually Ashton Emery into the game at running back for UTEP. 2nd and 9. Nelson, play fake, looking deep, instead checks it down to Emery. Emery, physical run after the catch right at the first down marker. That is uncharacteristic for this Bulldog defense, who is a great tackling team, but I'll tell you what, I don't know, Emery putting his head down.
Excellent job, just like you said, Andy, lowering his shoulder, being physical, getting the yards after a catch, enough for the first down.
Play fake once again for Nelson. Nelson has a man deep. That is Odom, who can't hold on to the football. Incomplete pass, a good throw by Nelson, fitting it in between the corner and the safety, threading the needle, but Odom unable to come down with it.
What an absolute hole shot by Malachi Nelson, the former 5-star. This is the arm talent we've been talking about, Andy. You got a safety over top, corner underneath, but the Bulldogs making a great pass break up there.
Yeah, really good job. Lodging that football loose was Joshua Cobbs. 2nd down run here for Emery, not much, and it's going to be 3rd and long for the Miners. Mentioned this good tackling Bulldog defense. That's the way they like to play defense, right? They drop in coverage and they rally to the football. Those intermediate and long passes, they are few and far between for opposing offenses, at least so far to start the first quarter of the 2025 season for La Tech. Rush 4 here. Nelson steps up, pressured, rolling to his right, throwing on the run, and it just has to get rid of it. And once again, UTEP able to come away with a first down, but not much after that. We'll punt it away. Nelson flush to his right, just trying to find anybody open on that play, and that's the benefit of the way the Bulldogs play defense, is dropping in coverage. Not a lot open out there.
Yeah, when you're dropping 8 in coverage, there's nowhere to go with the ball. Malachi forced to get that ball out of bounds, throw it away.
There's the punt, a long one there. Latulis has it. Penalty marker is down. Breaks a couple tackles out across the 35-yard line. Let's check the flag. I think this is going to back the Bulldogs up, as Latulis is slow to get up. A 58-yard boomer there from Botsford. Latulis had some open field here.
Kick, holding, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Maybe partly because of the hold there. It'll back the Bulldogs up inside their own 20-yard line. And that is where they will get the football next time out, as we will step aside. 9:43 to play in the opening half. La Tech leading UTEP 7-0. La Tech will begin this possession on their 9-yard line. Offense at a premium so far in this game. Outside of that opening drive for the Bulldogs that went 60 yards on 10 plays, just 83 yards of total offense for the Bulldogs, just 69 yards of total offense for the Miners, as the Bulldogs on 1st and 10 pick up 10 and a first down to start this drive.
That's just a simple play action pass here by Blake Baker, getting those linebackers to bite, and just a nice little stop route to start the series off.
This time he'll give it to Wiggins. Wiggins pushes forward for a gain of 3. This Bulldog offense, we thought we'd see in this game running the football quite a bit with a combination of Wiggins and Tevenen, and for the most part it has been the Blake Baker show. Give does go to Wiggins. Wiggins is tripped up in the backfield. You had Jaden Wilson, among others, in on the tackle.
It has been physical in the trenches already tonight. This Bulldog offensive line, this UTEP Miner defensive front. Physical is one thing we knew was going to happen tonight, Andy.
No doubt about that. 2nd and 10, play action. And couldn't hold on to the football there. Was looking for Singleton, and Singleton couldn't handle it. Ball was thrown a little bit behind him, but nonetheless a ball that, if you ask Marquise Singleton, probably should have come down with.
Yeah, that was definitely a catchable ball. Blake Baker with the throw into the boundary. Just couldn't come down with it.
So you got a 3rd and 10. Ball is at the Bulldog 24-yard line. Miners trying to get a stop in the football back. Baker flushed, pressured, down he goes. Jaden Wilson got there first, had some help bringing Baker down, all 6'5", 220 pounds, and the Miners able to come away with a stop.
Fearless, fast, and physical. The Miners with the stun up front. And yes, that's Jaden Wilson and Elijah Baldwin into the backfield. Big time play for the Orange Swarm defense.
I think you had a missed assignment there from Wiggins, who tried to release there and probably should have, in the very least, chipped on Wilson, didn't. Fair catch is called for with nobody around Willis. Probably like to have that decision back.
Yeah.
UTEP will have it at their own 41-yard line. Seen that on both sides now on the return game. Fair catch called for with a lot of room to be had out there. First thing first, though, always make sure you catch the punt. Don't need any special team blunders. Each team already with 1 turnover. Miners got to get something going offensively. They got to get something going on the ground. And they'll go early with Wilson. Good spin move, and he'll angle to the outside and picks up 6.
Take a look at this, Andy. This is a great job with his contact balance, with Hassan Wilson spin moving, getting the ball downfield. Great first play, great first run for this Miner offense.
2nd, a long 4, we'll call it a short 5. Bulldogs do bring pressure there, and the completion goes to Schutz. Schutz has got enough for a Miner first down. Pickup of 7 on the play, and the Miners are into La Tech territory.
Schutz stepping into his role at tight end with Judah Nzemwa out. Nice little Y option. Malachi finding them, hitting them. Great execution there.
Nelson, play action, looking deep. Instead, he's got to dump it off, and it's incomplete. And Nelson was hit hard on the play as Jaden Mayfield coming from his linebacker spot on the blitz, and he disrupted things.
Mayfield already with the quarterback hurry on the year, nearly gets the sack. Malachi Nelson dumping it off to his outlet. But great job by this Bulldog defense getting the pressure on Malachi Nelson.
Correction, that is actually Alonzo Jackson Jr. providing pressure for the Bulldogs as the Miners run it and there's nowhere to go. And again, it's Jackson with the tackle. Loss of 1 on the play. Third and 11 from the Miners. They got a bunch set here to the near sideline, and now Wilson, as well as Schutz and Odom, shift. Bulldogs drop 9, make that 8. Completion goes to Wilson. Wilson can't do anything with the football. 2-yard gainer. I think the Miners were hoping to get maybe 5 or 6 out of that play, give them an opportunity to go for it on 4th down. Looks like they will go for it, but this is 4th and 9. Long way to go here. Maybe try and draw them off sides, and they do. Problem is, nobody moved on the offensive line to get the call, or they didn't snap the ball, so that's why the call wasn't made. Instead, Nelson's just going to punt it himself. Lands at the 10. Miners got to get on it here, and they got to get on it in a hurry, and unable to do so, it scoots into the end zone. That is a missed opportunity twofold for the Miners. Had an opportunity to come up with the first down, or at least 5 yards with penalty yardage. Instead, La Tech up 7-0. And UTEP's Conference USA opener here at Sun Bowl Stadium. Bulldogs will start out with the football at their own 20-yard line after really a missed opportunity there from the Miners. Drew that play up perfectly where Malachi Nelson punted it. An opportunity to pin the Bulldogs inside their own 3-yard line, and that ball trickles into the end zone for a touchback, and Bulldogs have it at their own 20 as the give goes to Tevenen. Good looking spin move there to get away from one defender and turns a no gainer into 3.
Yeah, beautiful job by Tevenen, showing off the athleticism, avoiding the contact in the backfield, inside zone run, nice jump cut into the spin move. Quick feet, Andy.
Yeah, no doubt. Xavier Smith kind of caught flat-footed there. See, it is a completion there. Great looking throw by Baker as Baker gets the completion to Gandy. It's enough for a first down. That was a long throw.
Yeah, from the opposite hash, comeback route, just enough. Great eyes and hands by Gandy, getting his hands under the ball, making that catch.
Bulldogs from their own 34. Miners bring pressure. This is Tevenen, breaks one tackle, unable to get away from the second. Is brought down by Solo Barnes. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Take a look at this Miner defense swarming to the football. Micah Davey coming in to finish the job.
Second and 8. Baker has a snap, play action, going to the other hash, and has the completion there. Another first down for this Bulldog offense who's moving. That time it was Dane Benedicts.
That looked like the same play we just saw, just to the other side, but Blake Baker showing what he can do with his arm talent. Making that comeback throw opposite side of the field.
Have a bunch set to the far side. Tevenen in at running back. Play action. Baker calls his own number and puts his head down and able to get a few. K.D. Johnson in on that stop for the Miners.
Coach Cumbie talked about how Blake Baker has been the spark that this team has needed. He inspires confidence in everyone around him, making other players better with his play and leadership.
Miners trying to get lined up here on defense, able to do so. Play clock at 10 for the Bulldogs. Baker has the snap, will give it to Tevenen. Tevenen puts his head down, breaks one tackle, pushes forward, close to a first down marker. He's got it, 7 yards on the play, and a Bulldog first down.
This is another great job by Tevenen, finding the crease, never stopping his feet at contact, driving that Miner defense down for a nice gain. That is a physical run by Clay Tevenen.
And really that physical run too, going against Micah Davey, Conference USA's leading tackler, a rare missed tackle for him, as that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes to play here in the opening half at Sun Bowl Stadium. La Tech driving into UTEP territory. 2 minutes to play in this opening half with La Tech leading UTEP 7-0 in what is the Miners Conference USA opener. Bulldogs trying to come away with points, preferably a touchdown before the end of the half.
Bulldogs had 8 explosive plays over 20 yards last week. They can certainly use one now.
Snap to Baker. gives it. Nowhere to go to Tevenin. Tevenin able to break away from one tackle, but there was a whole host of Miners in on it on that second effort. Neil Campbell will get credited with the tackle for loss.
Good job by that defensive front, moving the line of scrimmage, getting that pressure. Remember, the UTEP Miners are #1 in Conference USA for tackles for loss.
That was Katie Johnson who was able to get penetration from that nose tackle spot. That was the disruption. Miners bring pressure here. Baker hit right as he throws, able to get the completion there. How about that? Good looking throw with pressure as Jackson was able to come away with the completion, and Baker hit right as he threw it. Give him 12 on the play.
Yeah, that's a big time throw by Blake Baker, seeing his receiver downfield, knowing he's going to get hit, but still stepping into his throw, delivering a dime.
After that first down loss, still sets up a 3rd and 2 here. Wiggins, the carry, has the first down and more. 7 yards on the play inside the Miners' 30-yard line. And you have a timeout called here, I think by UTEP. 44 seconds, take that back. La Tech with the timeout, 44 seconds to play in this second quarter. That is La Tech's first timeout of this opening half. Miners still have all 3 of their timeouts as well. Talking to Sonny Cumbie again before this one. Really interesting what he told us about, said he doesn't call the plays this year. He fired himself as the offensive coordinator after last year. Tony Franklin, of course, the offensive coordinator. He's the one calling the plays for the Bulldogs. Yeah,
Tony Franklin, a name that Louisiana Tech fans know, the architect of the most explosive offense the university has seen.
Yeah. This time you're going to get a timeout from UTEP, as they will huddle here, and defensive coordinator Bobby Daly and company. Miners have been really good on defense as well to start this season. Didn't play very well defensively, of course, last week, at least in the opening half against Louisiana Monroe, but they closed the game really, really well, just allowing 7 points in the second half. And that's been the difficulty for head coach Scotty Walden and this UTEP football team this year, is been out to some really, really slow starts, which has been uncharacteristic for a Scotty Walden coach football team.
Yeah, you know, that tempo offense, taking shots downfield, explosive plays, definitely something Scotty Walden wants to get back to in this second quarter.
1st and 10, Baker calls his own number, pushes ahead, and not much there. Clock is moving at 35 and counting. Remember, the Bulldogs still have 2 timeouts. They're going to use one of them here. Surprised that didn't come a little earlier, as 5 seconds run off the clock after the 2-yard pickup for Baker.
Just the quarterback ISO up the middle.
You have a Miner down. I wonder if they're going to charge UTEP with that timeout. We saw Sonny Cumbie from the sideline call for the timeout, but right now they're tending to a injured Miner on the play. We have still yet to see which team has been issued the timeout. Remember, injuries inside the 2-minute mark, those result in actual timeouts. See if we get an explanation from our official. Also hard to see right now who that is down on the field for the Miners. Up and moving.
The injury to the UTEP player qualifies for a 10-second runoff. However, Louisiana Tech has declined that option. 2nd down.
You heard the explanation from our official. I think it was Jet Thompson, normally in as a return man for the Miners, but in on there with the extra defensive back on the play. Of course, Louisiana Tech doesn't want that 10-second runoff. So 32 seconds to play here. Baker, throwing ball was tipped and caught. Gain of 1 on the play. With the clock moving as we approach the 20-second mark. Now inside 20 seconds, it's a 3rd down for the Bulldogs. Let's see if they take a shot to the end zone here. Baker, play action, looking deep. Now being brought down, that ball is up. I think that's a fumble. And now going to pick it up is Jaden Wilson. Wilson's rumbling with it inside the 35-yard line. They're going to signal that was a fumble. And the Miners come away with the turnover, still 2 seconds on the game clock. Baker was pressured and hit right as he was just trying to get rid of the football. I don't think the arm was coming forward.
Yeah, as we take a look at the replay, sets back to pass, tries to get out of the pocket. Let's see if that arm is going forward. It is not. This is a tremendous job, field awareness by Jaden Wilson, picking this ball up, no whistle blown, and taking the fumble downfield for a 41-yard return.
I'll tell you what, if we're going to credit Jaden Wilson for picking up the football and rumbling 41 yards for the Miners, you also have to give a lot of credit to Baker for, I believe it was Baker, if I'm not mistaken, whoever was in on that tackle for La Tech, there was 2 guys that were chasing down the football. Other way, that's 7 the other way. Instead, the Miners, I guess, are going to take a shot here in the end zone. They're not going to kick it, not sure why, with 3 seconds on the game clock, and now you got a whistle, and you're going to get a timeout.
There's second, 30 seconds.
And we'll see what the Miners decide to do as La Tech takes the timeout. That was Udoka Izani who was able to poke that ball free right before Baker was just trying to get rid of it. So you go from 3 points at least guaranteed for the Bulldogs if they're able to come away with a field goal on that possession, if Baker was able to get rid of the football, to no points. And I'm guessing here for the Miners, just not enough confidence in Carlos Arreola for this field goal that would be 42 yards out. So that's within Arreola's range. He hit from 42 earlier in the season against Utah State, but the Miners, they will send the field goal unit on. I thought so. Try to come away with some sort of points here and some momentum, especially a low-scoring game like this. Points are at a premium, and the Miners need Carlos Arreola to come through here for UTEP.
42 yards is his long this year.
That looked like it was partially blocked. No good. That was from 46 yards out and not able to get 3 points at the end of the half. So really a sloppy first half for both teams. La Tech leading 7-0. When we come back, we'll break it all down. Homecoming night here at Sun Bowl Stadium. Got the student section out. Hoping to see some offense in this second half. They're gonna have to wait though, as Louisiana Tech, they will receive the second half kickoff to get us going. And once again, the wind to the back of the Miners. That kick will go through the end zone for a touchback. And the Bulldogs will start out with the football at their own 25-yard line. Is got an injured Miner on the play. And it came, the hit came well after the play. That's Chase Biddle. And head coach Scotty Walden wanted a flag there. doesn't get it. Nonetheless, we're ready for some football here in this second half. We'll see what the Bulldogs able to dial up out of the locker room. Much like the first half, always like to be efficient on your opening possession of the second half with those adjustments in. Blake, completion to Jackson. 5-yard pickup on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, great job. Great execution by Blake Baker here. Just a nice little speed out, pickup of 5. Trying to stay ahead of this change in this second half for the Bulldog team.
Wiggins, the up back, gets the carry, has some space, angling his way through the line of scrimmage and is able to push forward for a gain of 8, and that is a 1st down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, take a look at the movement on this line of scrimmage. As you see, the big tight end, Eli Finley, driving his block downfield, making room.
Got some tempo here from the Bulldogs. As once again, it is Wiggins, not much room to work with there. Jaden Wilson as well as Katie Johnson in on the tackle for the Miners. Wiggins able to push forward there for at least a 3-yard pickup, so it'll be 2nd and 7. You mentioned, Ed, trying to stay ahead of the chains, an opportunity to do that here with another positive play. Baker has the snap across the middle and nearly intercepted once again by Smith. That's his 2nd one that went through his arms. That ball came out hot out of the hand of Baker.
Yeah, as we take a look at the replay, a little quick now route could have easily been picked off. Blake gets away with one there.
I'll tell you what, Marlon Jackson seemed to kind of pull up on that play as felt like the defense coming.
Yeah, it's like he didn't expect that the ball was coming to him.
3rd and 7, Baker back to pass, pressure, dumps it off. He's got Singleton. Singleton is going to be close to a 1st down marker, going to be just short. And it is going to be decision time already for Sonny Cumbie in this Bulldog offense. I imagine they'll go for it.
Yeah, it's a great job. Blake Baker changing his arm slot, finding the dump off.
You're going to get the big boys subbing in now for both of these teams. Here we go. Big play to start off this second half.
Look for a heavy dose of Blake Baker.
4th and 1. That's Gandy, the motion man. Baker has it. He won't run it. Pressured. Gonna go down. Ball is loose. Ball is loose. The Miners are on it. And UTEP comes up with a stop on 4th down. And the Miners offense is going to be in business, starting out with the football in La Tech territory at the 36-yard line.
Scotty Walden talked about this defense having to maintain focus and execute the technique in the game plan. This is exactly what this Miner defense does. Excellent job getting the ball back for Malachi Nelson and the Orange Blaze.
For Udoka Izani, that's his 2nd strip sack of this football game. It has led to 2 turnovers. Nonetheless, it was a 4th down, so the Miners would have had it there at that spot anyways. But really question the play calling there. On 4th and 1, you got a quarterback who's 6'5", 220. Man, he just leans forward and it's a 1st down. Nelson back to pass, has the completion to Schutz. Schutz pushes forward for a gain of 2. Really interesting play call there, Ed.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher. We've seen Blake Baker use his legs the entire first half. And Andy, yeah, he can fall forward 3 yards.
And if you're the UTEP offense, you haven't done anything in this football game. It is time to get something going here. Talk about this La Tech defense, the way they like to drop in coverage. See if the Miners, you got a whistle now.
This play is under further review for potential targeting.
We got a review coming here. You heard our referee. We will see if a targeting penalty is called. It was Josh Schutz on the completion. I didn't see anything just with the naked eye, but let's get a second look at it once the official, and that is what we'll do. I want to go back to that 4th down play call. We also haven't seen a lot of Wiggins. We haven't seen a lot of Tevin in this game. Those are two guys who have been able to run the football with effectiveness. But yeah, 4th and 1. You line up in the shotgun. I thought even the shotgun call was interesting, but expecting more or less somewhat of a QB power play where Baker's able to get the snap and call his own number, and instead he sits back in the pocket with nowhere to go with the football.
You know, I look down at my notes, and under Blake Baker, I have, with an asterisk on the side of it, physical runner. Yeah. That's the guy you want getting that 1st down.
Something else, too, you also have...
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down. Number 9 is disqualified for the remainder of the contest.
So you heard our official there. It is a personal foul for targeting. That penalty was called on Makai Mason, his first personal foul penalty that is counted against him towards an ejection. More than anything, it results in another 15 yards for the Miners and a 1st down. Real quick, just to finish that thought, you also have Trey Kukuk, who has also been known to be a little bit of a runner, and they like to insert him on certain packages. We haven't seen him all game for the Bulldogs, so curious play call. It results in a turnover. The Bulldogs' 3rd of this football game, and the Miners knocking on the door of the red zone now. Nelson, play action, throw into the end zone, and nobody home. Was looking for Kenny Odom on that play, and Kenny Odom zigging when Malachi Nelson thought he was going to zag.
Yeah, a little miscommunication, missed assignment, not running the wrong route. But Makai Mason for Louisiana Tech getting ejected, that's a huge loss for them.
He did get ejected. I didn't see that. I thought it was just the 1 personal foul. Quick throw, and it's intercepted. Intercepted here for the Bulldogs in running backwards for some reason, but nonetheless, Colby Fields intercepts Malachi Nelson. Fields is down. You got to check on him, but how about that? Fields, a great catch too. He had his eyes on Malachi Nelson the whole way.
Yeah, Colby Fields, Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week last week, coming up with a big play.
Some scary moments here at Sun Bowl Stadium as Colby Fields, who came away with the interception on the play, is being carted off the field now. He's got his entire team coming over to him, wishing him well. Don't like to speculate. We do think it is a leg injury, possibly an ankle, maybe even an Achilles. Certainly don't like to see that. Yeah.
You hate to see
looks like the
like
ankle
that.
As he was going down.
And you can tell what Colby Fields means to this Louisiana Tech team as he's getting driven off. The entire team was over at his side as he was getting up off the field. This is a tremendous loss for Sonny Cumbie and the Bulldogs defense, for the entire team.
Especially too because that targeting penalty on Makai Mason, the play before that, resulted in his ejection. So now you have 2 linebackers for the Bulldogs who are seemingly out for the rest of this football game as Tevin gets a carry, bounces it outside, has the corner, gets 14 on the play, and a Bulldog 1st down. Good looking burst.
Yeah, excellent blocking by the Bulldog offensive line, and Tevin just using his skill set to get outside and up the sideline.
See if the Bulldogs now start to lean on this running game. Just as I say that, they got the completion to Singleton. Singleton has 9. It'll be 2nd and short for the Bulldogs. Marquise Singleton has quietly had a good football game. Of course, had the touchdown on that opening drive, but he has been the primary target for Blake Baker. Two wide receivers set, 2 tight ends. Tevin in the carry, looking to get the corner, has the first down. And a new set of downs for the Bulldogs, who are on the move as we approach the 10-minute mark of this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that was a double tight end set by Louisiana Tech, but a great job by this Miner defense holding containment with nowhere to go for the Bulldogs.
Tevin remains in the game at running back. That 2 tight end look from the Bulldogs. Give goes to Tevin, this time trying to bounce it out to the right side and nowhere to go. Solo Barnes in on the tackle there for the Miners. Does pick up 1 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 9.
That was a really great job by Solo Barnes, keeping that outside shoulder free at his outside linebacker position, turning the play back inside where his team is.
Baker gives it to Tevin. Tevin is going to be wrapped up after a gain of 4 on the play. Cody Lowe on the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Bulldogs. If you're the Miners, you got to get off the field. If you're the Bulldogs, you got to keep this thing going offensively. What feels like a really big play early in this 3rd quarter. And I think that's why you might get a timeout here. Sonny Cumbie's running to the official, and there's the timeout. You will get a timeout here. I mentioned this play feels big at the 8:20 mark of the 3rd quarter, and apparently Sonny Cumbie is on the same page. He'll call a timeout, and we'll see what the Bulldogs are able to draw up here on 3rd and 5 from their own 36-yard line. What are you calling here, Ed?
Well, we talked about it at halftime, Andy. Eli Finley, the big tight end, 6'6", 246, had 154 yards last week on 6 receptions. That's number 1 in college football. Look for the big tight end to get his hands on the ball at 3rd and 5. I'd like a little Y option where he has the choice to hook up versus zone or run out of it versus man-to-man. Let's see what Sonny Cumbie has drawn up.
Finley, number 84, on the far side of this 2 tight end set. Miners showing blitz. They're going to bring pressure. Blake back to pass, looking for Gandy. Gandy bobbles in and is unable to haul it in. And the Miners come up with the stop they needed.
Talk about the defense coming through. This secondary has been playing lights out this evening. Excellent job getting your hands on the ball. That was a perfectly thrown ball by Blake Baker.
Lance Russell, who was able to break up the pass, and certainly when you're the Miners, you bring pressure, you're in man coverage. The Miners locking it down there. The punt to Willis, and Willis is lucky he was able to field that. Miners will start out with the football from the 24-yard line. When we return, they trail 7-0. Offense at a premium here at Sun Bowl Stadium. Tell you what, this Miner defense is keeping this football team in this game. Coming up with a big third down stop that previous play, and now the Miner offense coming back out, trying to get something going offensively. Just 6 first downs and 84 yards of total offense in this game. The Miners have thrown for just 38 yards. That is a far cry from the 400 plus they put up through the air against Louisiana Monroe in this building last week. From their own 24, Wilson on the carry, trying to bounce it outside. He has the corner, puts his head down, and is able to come away with 6 on the play.
Strong physical play by the Louisiana Tech defense. Hassan Wilson just about gets outside containment.
I think there's a reason that he had the edge, and that, of course, is the holding call that'll back the Miners up 10 yards. So now 1st and 20 from their own 12. And if you're UTEP, this is not what you can have, not with the way that you have had the inability to move the football with any effectiveness. Nelson over the middle, and it's picked off the hands of Wandame Davis, and it goes right to Michael Richard, and the Bulldogs with another takeaway, their 3rd interception of this football game.
And this is a great example of taking a look at this 3-high safety look. They're dropping 8 in coverage, ball's deflected, and there's Bulldog defenders all over this field. Richard there to make the interception.
Wandame Davis was Conference USA Freshman of the Week after last week's performance against Louisiana Monroe. Had 6 catches for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns, but that ball goes right off his fingertips. Richard picks it off, and now the Bulldogs are in business deep inside UTEP territory to start with the football, as that was Wiggins on the carry, gets 2 on the play.
And again, we've been seeing Tevinen and Wiggins. Wiggins now in the backfield.
There's a collision right at the point of attack. Micah Davey, Jaden Wilson. Several different Miners in on that stop, and it's 3rd and 7 now.
We talked about the physicality of this contest from both sides of the ball. In the trenches, guys fighting tooth and nail, trying to make weight.
Baker gives to Tevinen. Tevinen trying to get the corner, unable to do so. Somehow is able to keep his feet along the sideline. We'll see where they mark it, as it looked like Izani had him stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Instead, some fancy footwork along the sideline for Tevinen. It turns into a gain of 3. It'll still be 4th down. There you go.
That's a great job.
Wow.
This is tape for all the real young running backs out there. Never stop your feet on contact. Good job by Wiggins there.
This is Drew Henderson. This will be a season long for him. Kick is up. It is angling through the goalposts, and it's through. Good from 36 there. And La Tech is now up 2 scores. 10-0 our score, 5:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 5:47 to play in the 3rd quarter. La Tech Bulldogs able to get 3 points after another turnover from the Miners, their 2nd of this half. All interceptions, 3 interceptions in this game from Malachi Nelson. However, that last one, hard to pin on the quarterback there.
Yeah, Scotty Walden had talked about all the drop passes they had last week in the Monroe game, and the attention to detail they paid this week and catching the football, utilizing the technique so that doesn't happen.
And to Malachi Nelson's credit, we asked him too about how Nelson has kind of handled some of those drops, right? Because you get a lot of quarterbacks who, you know, especially of Nelson's stature, a former 5-star recruit, you know, guys start dropping the football. It's easy for a quarterback to blame the receivers or get on his receivers. And head coach Scotty Walden telling us, well, you see Nelson do that from time to time. It's always in an encouraging manner. As the give there results in a short pickup. That was Marquez Taylor on the carry, his first carry of this football game. Give him 4 on the play.
Yeah, I like the play call there. Let's try to establish that run game here late in the third quarter. See if we can get the ball, any type of positive play going, momentum for the offense.
Play action, gonna dump it to Taylor. Taylor able to come away with the reception. Give him 5 on the play and a first down.
Yeah, really like this play call, Andy. We were talking during the commercial break how to beat a team that drops 8 into coverage, and moving Malachi out in the pocket is one way to get it done.
That's another way to get it done. How about just run it straight up the guts? Marquez Taylor enters the football game. 3 straight touches for Taylor, and the Miners are on the move here.
Marquez Taylor, an Austin Peay transfer, Scotty Walden's former college.
Looking on the play there, and I think Willis somehow did come down with it. A dangerous throw by Nelson, as that was nearly picked off once again by Richard. It's a Miner first down. UTEP across midfield. Quick throw is Willis again. Willis will drag a defender for a couple, and you got some extracurriculars there on the sideline. That's Carter getting into it with a UTEP staffer, it looked like. The Miners wanted the penalty for the way that Willis was slammed on the ground. I think in the NFL, this gets called 9 times out of 10. Not called here, though. Get away a little bit more in college football these days than you do the NFL.
I'd say for the most part, these officials have let these two teams play. Again, it's been a physical contest, and that was a physical tackle, no doubt about it.
Taylor once again on the carry there, gets a couple. It's going to set up now 3rd and 2. Miners here have a heavy package in. I know Coach Walden was telling us about a package they had that was over 3,000 pounds. I don't know if this is it. There's a lot of weight in there as Ashton Emery, second effort, gets him the first down.
That, I believe, was the Miho Things package, Andy. 3,000 plus pounds.
And they're hurrying up with it. You get a whistle. I think you're going to get a timeout called by La Tech. If you're head coach Scotty Walden, you'll take it.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Louisiana Tech. Their second of the half.
Yeah, that's their second timeout spent already in this second half, as they just weren't ready for that package, I assume.
I think 3,000 pounds on an offensive unit warrants a timeout.
Yeah, especially if you weren't planning on it, which especially on that 3rd down call, the way that Ashton Emery was able to break 1 tackle and push forward for another 5. Easy 3rd down look there for the Miners. I was surprised though to see him out of that try and hurry up the offense, and it cost La Tech a timeout. Miners sustaining this drive. They're down to the La Tech 35-yard line. They need points. That is shuts the motion man. Snap, give to Emery. Emery, head down, is wrapped up after a short pickup of 3 on the play.
Yeah,
That is Mayfield on the tackle.
Ashton Emery is the go-to back in short yardage, utilizing the gap scheme to get him downfield.
This time La Tech brings pressure. The give goes to Emery. Emery once again another physical run, puts his head down. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Miners now. Tackle there from Zarek Hill from his inside linebacker position.
Yeah, Zarek Hill playing next man up mentality for the Bulldogs with Mason and Fields out of this ball game, making a tackle, his 6th tackle on the season.
Yeah, Hill, a true freshman. Snap. Bulldogs bring pressure, completion on the sideline there. It's a 1st down. Tate loses the football, but he's back on it. It's a Miner 1st down. The completion there from Nelson to Tate, good enough for the 1st down.
Take a look at the concentration and focus of Tate, squeezing the football, the wide part of the football Scotty Walden talked about. Great job making that play.
Emery's met in the backfield, absolutely nowhere to go. Alonzo Jackson Jr., the TFL. I didn't even notice that. Do you see that? Ashton Emery playing with a club on his, what is that, his left arm. There you see it right there.
Yeah, all the way up to about half of his hand. Still securing the ball in his right, obviously.
Probably not catching the football much. Emery again gets the carry. And that is a short pickup again. And it's going to be 3rd and long for the Miners as we near 1 minute to play in this 3rd quarter. Got Taylor checking in for the Miners. Louisiana Tech will bring in some fresh pass rushers and an extra defensive back on this 3rd and 10. Nelson setting up the screen, has it to Taylor. Taylor nowhere to go. How about coming through on that end and making the play was Amari Butler. He read it perfectly and also shed the block in the process.
This is a great job not getting fooled by this screen pass. Amari Butler coming upfield, making the big time play, the big time hit for Louisiana Tech.
Looked like James Williams, the left guard for UTEP, was responsible for Butler on that screen pass and didn't make the block that was needed. And that's gonna run out time here on this 3rd quarter. The Miners haven't gotten anything going offensively. They have a chance to get points here to start the 4th quarter when we return. Miners lining up here for a 39-yard field goal. And it isn't Carlos Arreola who's going to kick it. Instead, it's Tanner Cragen, redshirt sophomore out of Frisco, Texas. Snap is good, hold is down, kick is up, it is angling and just sneaks in that right upright. UTEP had to come away with points, and they do. From the well-traveled Tanner Cragen.
The Utah State transfer.
Yeah, also played his freshman year at Utah.
And coincidentally, I was on a flight with his wife, Miss Cragen, to Dallas a few weeks back. Good to see Tanner getting some action and getting the 3 points that Miners desperately needed.
Really interesting not to see Carlos Arreola there, who's struggled at least the last couple of weeks. Missed one last week. Missed one today from 47 at the end of that 1st half, of course. 3 of 6 on the season, but Cragen good there from officially 38 yards. And the Miners are back within 1 score, and their defense has kept them in this football game. They're going to call on that defense at least one more time.
Tanner Cragen, 7 for 9 in field goals last year, 36 for 37 in PATs, 8 games played with Utah State.
And let's be honest, it's been a point of emphasis for the Miners. The kicking game has to be better. Of course, last year we know how that story went down. The Miners missing some opportunities and some game-winning kicks earlier in the season. The game against Southern Utah, of course, comes to mind. They have definitely made it a point to bring in some help in the kicking game, and that time it was Cragen coming through for the Miners. This will be returnable here for Devin Gandy. Gandy out across the 30. A good return there as he was up in it, and a return of 27.
And Gandy showing us his best impression of the 110 high hurdles.
Yeah.
On that return.
I've never understood leaving your feet on a football field. It just seems terrifying to me. You know a little bit better from playing at this level, Ed, but leaving your feet on the football field, I thought that was an unwritten rule. Then we see Saquon Barkley jumping over people backwards.
Yeah.
So. This is Tevinen. Tevinen, patient run there, is able to net one.
Yeah, nowhere to go. Tevinen trying to find a crease or a seam, but that Miner defensive front really holding strong on that run play.
For La Tech, this is twofold. You certainly want to chew some clock, but also need to put together something on offense here yourself. Baker back to pass, pressured and down he goes. Is dumped on the play by Echo Taylor.
This defensive side of the UTEP Miners has showed nothing but effort and energy.
Echo Taylor there largely unblocked. And now Blake Baker in this Bulldog offense staring at a 3rd and 19. We'll see if maybe they just try and get 8 or 9 yards back and try and flip field position here. And that's exactly what they'll do. They'll set up the screen, and that's going to net 10 yards on the completion. Well short of the first down is Marlon Jackson. I take that back. The completion there to David Piero. And the punting unit is on for the Bulldogs. That was an important, what was that, 9 yards, just to give your punting game a little room and try and flip field position. You got Eric Willis III back deep to receive the punt from John Hoyt Chance, and it's a boomer. Willis backpedaling, trying to get there, and it's going to roll into the end zone for a touchback. And UTEP will start out with the football at their own 20 after a punt of 68 from Hoyt Chance. Miners coming up with their 6th sack of this football game, and it was a big one, but not nearly as big as the punt that just came off the leg of John Hoyt Chance. 68 yards. Would have been an added bonus to somehow come up with pinning him down inside the 10. It rolled into the end zone for a touchback, but a punt that nets 48 yards nonetheless. And the Miners have it at their own 20, trailing by 7. Quick hitter to Odom. Odom up the field, not much.
It's a great job by this Louisiana Tech defense pursuing to the football on that quick screen pass.
Miners looking to the sideline from the call that comes from the head coach, Scotty Walden, directing this offense that has had some troubles here today against a very good La Tech defense. Taylor, the up back. Taylor gets the carry, pushes forward, but is then driven back. Sifa Leota on the tackle.
Sifa Leota making his homecoming back to the state of Texas from the storied Euless Trinity High School in Euless, Texas, with the big play.
Yeah, really good program there. Taylor remains the up back for the Miners. He gave UTEP a spark on that last drive that resulted in 3 points. Miners have a 3rd and 8 here. La Tech showing pressure. They come, but not before a whistle.
UTEP, their first of the half. 30 seconds.
Got a timeout here taken by UTEP. So Coach Walden and company see the importance of this 3rd down, so much so they're going to use a timeout, their first of the half, at the 11:27 mark of this 4th quarter. And those big chunk plays, we're talking about plays of 8 yards or more, those have been tough to come by for UTEP.
Yeah, very, very difficult. We've talked about the 3-high defense, the jungle look. It's a umbrella type coverage, an inverted cover 2. You have 3 safeties, 1 occupying the middle of the field. You got 2 corners, really nowhere to go. Malachi is really going to have to do a good job. Scotty Walden wants them to stay poised, not rush any throws, and find the open windows.
Miners are averaging just 2.3 yards per completion. They need 8 here. Pressure on Nelson. Nelson thrown to the sideline, looking for Odom. And it falls incomplete, and it'll be 4th down, and the punting unit will come on.
Really good coverage there by Louisiana Tech. Ball a little too far outside for Odom to bring that in. So we punt.
Again, just 2.3 yards per completion for UTEP in this football game. That is less than the 3.3 yards they're averaging per carry. As Latulis is back to receive the punt, heels at the 30, makes, wow, what about that play on special teams? That is what you have to have on special teams. Is the Miners get a good special teams play, we will step aside. La Tech leading 10-3, 11:13 to play. Had to dig into the roster here for Darnell Williams, who's not on the 2 deep for UTEP, but certainly make a case to be on the 2 deep when you make a special teams play like that. I thought Latufis for sure was going to break the tackle, and unable to do so. La Tech has the football at their own 29-yard line.
Excellent, excellent job. Special teams play by Darnell Williams.
Baker has the completion. A couple spin moves from Gandy, but spinning into a tackle from Xavier Smith, as well as Justin Content on that tackle.
Yeah, it's just a perimeter pass out quick into Gandy's hands. 1 twirl, 2 twirls, and here comes the Miner defense to make the stop for a short gain.
Pickup of 2 for Gandy sets up a 2nd and 8. Baker across the middle has the completion. Ball is out. We'll see if the knee was down. No signal yet. Miners sure think that they have the football. I still have not seen a signal from an official.
On the field is a catch with a fumble recovered by Sam Houston State for a first down. Correction, recovered by UTEP for a first down.
That was Jaden Wilson, Andy Morgan. Jaden Wilson punching that ball out. Let's see if we can see it on the replay. You see him get wrapped up here, and look for Jaden Wilson.
That ball's out.
Punches that ball out. The El Paso native, Jaden Wilson, out of Austin High School, right here in El Paso, with a big play for that Miner defense.
That was Jalen Mickens on the receiving end. Had enough for the first down, but the heads-up play from Wilson. UTEP's defense forcing another turnover in this football game. That is their 4th takeaway of this game. We've seen 7 turnovers in this game, and somehow have still only seen 13 points on the scoreboard. Man, if you're Malachi Nelson in this offense, the time is now. That ball is deflected incomplete. There's the El Paso native. Of course, Jaden Wilson began his college football career at the University of New Mexico. Played a couple years there. Of course, last year under Bronco Mendenhall, and then coming back home to play for the hometown Miners, and a huge play there to get the Miners the football back. 10.5 to play here in the fourth quarter. Miners trail by 7. Nelson picked off, and some room out in front of him. This is gonna go for a Louisiana Tech touchdown. Jakari Foster goes 66 yards the other way. And the Bulldog defense with their 4th interception of this game. And the Boo Birds are out at Sun Bowl Stadium. What happened there? That looked just like a total either misread, miscommunication. I mean, Jakari Foster was just, he was the only guy there.
And that was Jakari Foster's 3rd interception on the season. Talk about being at the right place at the right time. Pick 6 to the house.
And it's, for the Bulldogs, their 4th defensive touchdown of the season. That is something. Again, we talked to the La Tech coaching staff coming into this one, and they said, hey, we know that this is not something that is sustainable. Our defense scoring touchdowns at the rate that they're scoring touchdowns at, or even coming away with the turnovers at the rate that they are coming away with some of these takeaways. But they have 4 of them again today, all interceptions, and this one a pick 6 for Foster.
Yeah, and as a quarterback at the FBS level, that's just a pass and interception that can't happen. He had a post behind, but that was way off target, right into the hands of Louisiana Tech.
My goodness, 4 interceptions thrown here from Malachi Nelson. And a lot of it too, the way the Bulldogs play defense, that drop 8 coverage, and when you're down in a football game and forced to throw it maybe a little bit more than you want to, defense knows what's coming, and it sure looked like the Bulldogs were all over that one. 17-3, still a lot of time left. But UTEP has just been ineffective on offense. Tell you what, for Louisiana Tech, sometimes, you know, hey, a good defense is a good offense. Jakari Foster also 5 tackles in this game. You mentioned it, Ed, his 3rd interception of the year, and it was a big one. Nelson dumps it to Odom. Odom unable to escape. A good open field tackle there from Michael Richard. And Odom is, looks like he's grasping that, looks like a right collarbone. Gonna stay in the game after a pickup of 3. Ashton Emery in at running back for the Miners. Inside 10 to play. Play action for Nelson. Scanning, once again, has the ball batted up in the air, and it's incomplete. That is something else that we have seen a lot of in this game, Ed, is those defensive linemen. They're only rushing 3, but they are getting penetration. They're getting their arms up, and they're deflecting passes.
I don't know if I've ever called a game and seen so many deflected passes. You said it, Andy. These guys are doing a great job. This defensive front, only rushing 3, getting their hands up into the passing lanes, disrupting Malachi Nelson.
It was Christian Davis on that one. Nelson, quick throw to Odom, but it's nearly intercepted again. Nearly intercepted, that time from Alonzo Jackson Jr., who would have for sure taken it the other way had he been able to hold on to it. Read this perfectly. That was a tough play to come up with that one. UTEP's got to go for it here. 9:33 to play in the fourth quarter. It is 4th and 7. This might be your ball game here. Nelson has time, will step up in the pocket, and is going to have the first down and then some. Gets out to the 40-yard line. Ed, you mentioned it. This is what you got to do when they're dropping 8s. Got to be able to move the quarterback around a little bit. Picks up the first down there.
Yeah, this is a great job from Malachi. Might be a little gun shy, trying to throw that ball downfield, so uses his legs.
That time pressure, and Malachi Nelson is hit right as he throws it, sails it. It's incomplete, and it's second down.
Another thing to note, Andy, we're into the fourth quarter. Malachi Nelson has been throwing off of his back foot the entire game, and Scotty Walden had said, we can't leave the ball up in the air for this defense to make plays, and that's exactly what's happened for Louisiana Tech.
And perhaps a lot of that has been the penetration that front 3 has been able to get. Nelson has time again, looking for Torres that time, and it's incomplete. And now it's 3rd and 10 for the Miners. .903 to play. Something to note, you got Odom. Odom is off the field now. I mentioned after that reception on the first play of this drive, came up a little limp, and he is not in there right now on a big 3rd down. And now you got the play clock winding down, and UTEP's going to be forced to take a timeout.
30 seconds.
Second timeout of the half used there for the Miners. Crowd doesn't like it, but here's the thing. You don't come away with points here, notably a touchdown, when you're down 14. The way that La Tech is playing defense, this game's as good as over.
Yeah, and if you put put yourself into the mind of Malachi Nelson, with all the interceptions this game, can he overcome that? And again, I go back to having the poise to navigate this offense down the field.
Of course, for Malachi Nelson, you remember last week, sure, threw for over 400 yards in that loss, but the last 2 possessions of that game against Louisiana Monroe, granted, was just trying to make a play to come away with a win, but both of those drives resulted in interceptions. On 3rd and 10, the Miners will hand it off, and they get very little. That was Hassan Wilson on the carry. Maybe got 2. And now it is 4th and 8. Wilson will come off. Take that back. He ends up lining up split out, and good job there in coverage, as that was opportunity missed. Marcus Torres coming away with the reception, but it is a good 6 yards shy of the first down, and the Miners will turn it over on downs.
Credit Sonny Cumbie and Luke Olson, defensive coordinator for Louisiana Tech. This game plan, this 3 safety look, only rushing 3, dropping 8 in coverage, has worked out great for them tonight. They are suffocating the wide receivers for these Miners.
You know, UTEP played Texas earlier in the year, a game the Miners lost 27-10. Texas is that's an SEC defense, no doubt. But the way that this La Tech football team, the way that this defense is, look at this. Pushing forward for another 6, 7, maybe even another 8 yards after the original point of contact. A first down, and now you just got the Bulldogs just imposing their will on this Miners team.
Yeah, that looks like the good
scene
old
out of the Little
classic
Giants.
tush push max by Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, this La Tech defense, they've just rallied to the football. They've created havoc in the backfield by, at times, just rushing 3. Of course, the takeaways have been big as once again, give goes to Tevenin. Good looking carry, give him 7 on the play. Inside 7.5 to play. La Tech leading 17-3 and knocking on the door once again in the UTEP red zone.
Clay Tevenin, 5'10", 202 pounds, a sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Now's the time too you start to see that game clock really start to wind. Tevenin on the carry, trying to bounce it outside, but doesn't have anywhere to go. Good looking tackle on the play there by Ashton Coker. And it'll be 3rd down for the Bulldogs.
Sonny Cumbie had talked to us, Andy, about the maturity of this team. 10 guys holding a degree already have graduated playing on this team, and he said that experience has helped lead them to the success they've had early in this season.
Baker's going to call his own number here, and he's going to have enough for a first down. Didn't look like he had a whole lot of room to work with, and somehow turned that into a gain of 8.
Yeah, nice little read option. Securing that football. 2-hand ball security on contact, driving his feet.
Something else we talked to Sonny Cumbie about is, we asked him what would be the perfect game script tonight for a La Tech win, and he shut that question down so fast. As long as we win, I don't care if it's 3-2. I don't care if it's 68-60. As long as we get the win. And I'll tell you what, when you look at this game script, as you got a penalty marker down, we'll check that.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 5. The penalty is half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down. Number 4 can remain in the game due to his helmet coming off as a result of the foul.
We got to call 15 yards on the face mask, but to finish that thought, doesn't really, I mean, because you look at this game, right? And for Louisiana Tech, it hasn't been pretty. They've turned it over 4 times themselves. It's been tough to run the football, averaging just 2.3 yards a carry in this game. They're averaging a little over 5 yards a completion, so it hasn't been pretty for La Tech, but hey, it's been effective. They're knocking on the door here, and they're gonna slam it. Into the end zone goes Clay Tevenin for the 5-yard touchdown. And that is just gonna about do it, as La Tech goes up by 3 touchdowns, and it's Clay Tevenin seemingly slamming the door shut.
Yeah, great job by Tevenin. A lot of carries on that drive, getting the ball in the end zone, putting the nail in the coffin for these UTEP Miners.
This is Drew Henderson for the point after. Up and good. And La Tech coming away with a stop on defense. And then Clay Tevenin doing the rest on the other end. 24-3, under 5 to play here at Sun Bowl. 24-3, our score here at Sun Bowl Stadium. The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs well on their way to a 4-1 start, 2-0 in conference play. They have played really good defense tonight, and that is the understatement of the night.
It's been lights out for Louisiana Tech, and that defense making the trip to El Paso, Texas, ready to play, playing with a chip on their shoulder.
I mean, I'm just looking at the box score here, and you got 18 completions for UTEP, going for just 73 yards. That is 1.9 yards per completion. They've thrown it 38 times and have only netted 73 yards through the air. That is just about as good a pass defense as you can play.
And not only that, Louisiana Tech has put the blueprint together for the rest of Conference USA on how to shut down Malachi Nelson and this UTEP offense.
Certainly something to be concerned about if you're the Miners moving forward, as you got Skylar Locklear into the game now at quarterback for the Miners. Has the completion there to Willis. Skylar Locklear, 5'11", 195 junior out of Clayton, North Carolina. He was UTEP's starter, of course, last year. Threw for over 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. Getting some action here and has the completion to Wandame Davis, and David crosses midfield. Good looking gain there through the air and a pickup of 23 yards for number 23.
Yeah, great job by Skylar Locklear, being patient in the pocket, finding the window to Wilson. Perfectly executed pass play that we haven't seen all night by the Miners.
And now Ashton Emery with some room to rumble. Give him 12 and a Miner first down as we near the 4-minute mark. Those windows, I mean, even there on the completion there to Davis, those windows, they're tight. You got to hit them on time. Something that Nelson just wasn't able to do tonight. The 4 interceptions as he's been chased from this game. We got a whistle now. They're going to put some more time on the clock.
And remember, this Bulldog defense is without number 9, Makai Mason, who was ejected early in the third quarter, and number 10, Colby Fields, who was out with an injury.
Yeah, you really hope for Fields that injury isn't as bad as it looked, being carted off the field. Locklear goes play action. Gonna take a shot to Davis in the end zone, and that is a UTEP touchdown. 35 yards from Skylar Locklear to Wandame Davis. And the Miners finally flashing some points up on the scoreboard.
Really impressive by Skylar Locklear. Remember, when they're dropping 8 in coverage, the windows are very small. He throws a whole shot down the side, up the seam for the touchdown.
Miners will elect to go for 2 here. Of course, we saw this script play out last week. Taylor in motion on the 2-point try. Locklear back of the end zone, has his man. It's complete to Josh Schutz. And the Miners, just like that, put 8 up on the scoreboard and now trail by 13 with 3:34 to play. And I can already hear the talk radio shows after this game and throughout the week. You don't like it as a head coach when you all of a sudden brewing some quarterback controversy, but Skylar Locklear made that look easy.
And Skylar Locklear looking like he's playing with the chip on his shoulder. Remember last year on the wrong side of a very, very brutal hit he took. as the starting quarterback for the Miners, but he navigated that offense beautifully down the field, something we haven't seen at all tonight by this UTEP offense.
And that hit actually came against Louisiana Tech in a game in Ruston. Here's the touchdown toss as Davis able to beat him over the top, and then the two-point try shuts crossing in the back of the end zone, and man, threading the needle on that pass was Locklear. As efficient as you can get on that drive, 3 of 3, 63 yards and the touchdown, and now UTEP will try for the onside kick. And that just goes straight to Gandy. About as easy as a recovery as you can get there if you're Devin Gandy, and La Tech will get the football back.
I tell you what, that's about as poised as it gets from your quarterback. Scotty Walden certainly will be proud of that quarterback play. 3 for 3 with a touchdown and 2-point conversion. Great job by Skylar Locklear.
And if we're being honest, you know, late in games you talk about, well, you know, maybe the defense was just kind of dropping back and letting them. I mean, that's what La Tech's been doing all day. They've been dropping 8 all day long. So they didn't do anything different that drive than they've done pretty much all game. And Locklear able to pick apart the defense for 8 points. Certainly makes the scoreboard look a little better, but you don't recover that onside kick. You only got 1 timeout remaining. UTEP needs a stop and then some. Clay Tevenen is in at running back. 17 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown so far today from Tevenen, trying to close this one out. Instead, it'll be Baker calling his own number. Micah Davey and company taking him down. UTEP, I think, is going to use their final timeout here. Comes at the 2:39 mark. So if UTEP's able to come away with a stop, assuming Louisiana Tech punts away the football, UTEP would have the ball with about a minute, say about a minute and 40 seconds remaining. And they're going to need to dial up what they did their last time out. And then some.
Yeah, look for them to send pressure. Jaden Wilson, Joshua Rudolph.
I have to imagine the Bulldogs keep the ball on the ground here and just continue to eat time. It's exactly what's going to happen, but Tevenen has the corner, cuts it back up, penalty marker down. Tevenen's going to be a yard shy of the first down. There is a penalty marker. Let's check that first. See him asking Scotty Walden what he wants to do.
Offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, 3rd down.
And because you give up 9 on that play, Coach Walden is going to elect to back him up 10 yards and replay 3rd down.
Yeah, that's right guard Roy Brackens the third. Trying to hold outside leverage, hands get extended outside. You're going to get flagged every time on that one.
So now 3rd and 18. Once again, Tevenen will get the carry. Wilson unable to bring him down. Micah Davey and company will finally push him out of bounds. And that's actually a break for UTEP. Although you have the 2-minute timeout coming up anyway, it really only saves the Miners 6 seconds. In fact, they're actually going to rule them inbounds here, and that is going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. We will step aside. Miners with a glimmer of hope here, but they trail 13.
The Miners were really looking for a momentum shift between our quarterbacks, and the fans were chanting for Skylar Locklear, and now we have that momentum moving. Skylar Locklear didn't play as much as we had hoped, but he has had 233 snaps in his career with a completing 63.5% of his passes. Now this momentum that he's created has really caused an energy shift in these last couple minutes in the fourth quarter.
Paige, thank you. Almost surely will be Locklear coming back out for the Miners on offense, as we have reached the 2-minute mark of this fourth quarter. Miners trailing by 13. Eric Willis III back deep to receive the punt. Fair catch called for and made, falling down by Willis at the Miner 12-yard line. On that last drive, we mentioned Skylar Locklear, the efficient drive, resulting in 8 points for the Miners. Last time out, 3 of 3, 63 yards and the touchdown. Nearly doubled the Miners' pass per attempt, now at 3.3 yards on 41 attempts for the game. Just 21 completions in those 41 attempts. Locklear is going to have this one picked off. That is picked off, and another opportunity to go to the house, and it is going to be a La Tech touchdown. Alonzo Jackson Jr. with the interception and taking it the other way, 23 yards for the Bulldog touchdown. And that is how you put an exclamation point on it.
Alonzo Jackson Jr., the 6'1", 227-pound redshirt freshman out of Haynesville, Louisiana, stepping into his role with Makai Mason out of the ball game with the pick six. The extra effort to get the ball in the end zone, very impressive by Jackson Jr.
I'm losing track how many defensive touchdowns that is on the season for this Bulldog defense.
I think it's safe to say they might be leading college football.
My goodness.
In turnovers.
2 here tonight. Like a weird snap covered up by the Bulldogs. Has chances on it, so PAT is no good, and that's just Jackson just dropping into coverage.
Yeah, that's just your normal hook curl drop. Ball's right over his head within reach. Look at the depth he gets, though, in that drop. That is what makes the difference, right into the passing lane. And then take a look at the extra effort, getting inside the pylon, touchdown, Louisiana Tech, and the Bulldogs are rolling.
Would not be denied. See what UTEP decides to do on the other end of this now. Maybe you see a little Shea Smith play all 3 of your quarterbacks. Malachi Nelson has thrown 4 interceptions in this game, and now Skylar Locklear, after going down the field and scoring UTEP's only touchdown of the game, throws an interception. For Louisiana Tech, they will be at Kennesaw State next week. UTEP will start out with it at their 35-yard line. I take that back. They will actually have a bye week next Saturday. And then Kennesaw State will play on a Thursday night at Kennesaw State before a matchup against Western Kentucky, followed by a game on Halloween night against Sam Houston. That game will be in Ruston. And that Western Kentucky game, that is going to be a really interesting game. Of course, the Hilltoppers, they got a win tonight, 27-22 over Missouri State. So the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers as well as La Tech both improving to 4-1 and 2-0 in conference play. They sit at the top of the Conference USA in standings. Other scores across Conference USA is Emory, tough run there. Old Dominion over Liberty, 21-7. Liberty's 1-4 this season. Middle Tennessee able to get their first win of the season. They beat Kennesaw State today, 13-3. Southern Miss over Jack State, 42-25. And in the Rio Grande rivalry, the New Mexico State Aggies falling to the New Mexico Lobos, 38-20. Second straight win for the Lobos in that rivalry game.
The injured player was not off the field prior to the snap. Replay third down.
We're going to get a do-over here on third down. .87 seconds to play. It has been all La Tech. Sonny Cumbie, of course, got the Bulldogs back to a bowl game last year. And Ashton Emery with a good run here across the 45. First down for the Miners.
Sonny Cumbie making his return to West Texas. The former Texas Tech quarterback played there from 02 to 04.
Also, for a brief period of time, was the interim head coach at Texas Tech.
That's right.
Before getting the job here at La Tech. Of course, a couple tough seasons for the Bulldogs under Cumbie, but has been able to figure it out the last couple years. And certainly this year, 4 wins already in the Bulldogs' first 5 games. An underhand pitch there to Wilson. Wilson will get a couple. Did get out of bounds, so 43 seconds left. Holding penalty on the Miners. That'll back them up another 10.
Sonny Cumbie did mention to us that, you know, he's had guys in the program for 2 or 3 years that have experienced the lows, have experienced the highs, and he really thinks that's what has helped build the depth with this football team. And, you know, when you see 2 of your star linebackers go out of the game and next man mentality, the next guy steps up, that speaks to the depth that this team has.
Yeah, they didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a beat. And also the depth, too. I mean, even at the quarterback position, for example, we didn't see Trey Kukuk in this game, as Skylar Locklear will call his own number and is tripped up after a pickup 7. Trey Kukuk, he's got experience. And then, of course, behind both of those guys is Evan Bullock. Remember, Bullock was the quarterback last year that threw for over 2,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. He's the 3rd string quarterback in this offense. Completion there to Schutz, and that is how this one will come to an end. The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs coming into Sun Bowl Stadium and spoiling homecoming for the UTEP Miners. Our final score, 30-11. Both head coaches meeting at midfield. This one going in the way of Sonny Cumbie and his Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. When we come back, we'll put a bow on